Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back for anybody who's coming back. Welcome, welcome for people who were here during the prompt along. How is everyone doing? Hi, Marty. Hello, hello. Welcome back, honey. This will be take 2 because last week, was really bad. My kitty got really, really sick. I was a mess. But we're back this week and we're fine. We're happy and we're healthy. That was really scary. It was really scary. Did you read my community tab that I posted a community tab and found out it was just a seizure from dehydration and the vet gave her some subcutaneous fluids and plumped her back up and she was fine. He said she was actually very incredibly healthy for her age. So yes, I'm back today. And today's, oh, she did. Oh, good, good. I'm glad she was able to tell you. I'm glad you found out somehow. Hmm. I had mesquite barbecue pork tenderloin and scallop potatoes and butternut squash. Although I didn't have the squash, I just had the potatoes and the pork loin. I didn't feel like having the squash, but it was slated for edibility. Oh, it was so yummy. Hi, Stacy. Thank you for telling Marty about Stormy Girl. I appreciate that she was able to get the information somewhere. Thank you. So tonight's tutorial is going to be something really special. We get to work with some beads tonight. Hello, Pam. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I knew they'd all worry, and that's why I put the post on my community tab so that everybody could see it, but for some reason not everybody gets those. And I didn't know where else to put it. Okay, so Oh, not everybody has them turned on because mine is for public view, so mine is turned on. Hey, Stephanie. Hi. Oh, I see. I see what the problem was. Well, at any rate, I'm glad you found out. I'm glad you found out. You were able to find out. You were able to get some information. Hi, Steffi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited. Stacy's good at that, relaying important messages. She's good at that. I appreciate you, Stacy, more than you know. My good friend. Oh, I left my drink over there. Can't have that. Gotta have my drink over there. Well, not last week, but the week before, I taught some ribbon embroidery. And last week, I was going to teach you how to incorporate a few beads into it. And oh, well, it all hit the fan. So we're going to take that up this week. We're going to make this same, not this one, this one. Yes, this one. We're going to make the same ribbon rose that I made last week, only the center is going to have beads in it. And we're going to do the leaf. Instead of doing the ribbon leaf with the ribbon, we're going to do the leaf, the rose leaf, with a bugle bead and some floss. Whoops, I should be up here. Bugle beads and some floss. It will at first, Marty. It will at first because your blood pressure is slowing down. So yes, you are. You're going to feel different. Yes. But but keep an eye on it. You don't want to feel funny for too long. But you will definitely feel strange because it's actually working. It's doing its thing. It's working on your blood pressure. So yes, it will. Your body is changing with what the blood pressure medication is supposed to be doing. So your body is changing. So you're going to have that feeling of the change. If you're that worried about it, you need to call your doctor in the morning. Right. That's because the blood pressure medication is doing its job. It's working. Yeah, it feels strange to feel good, especially when we felt bad for so long. You're very welcome. If you still feel strange in the morning, though, I want you to call your doctor and let them know you're not having a great feeling. You just feel strange. People are strange when you're a stranger. Yeah, sounds like it kicked in. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah. Your doctor or the nurse may tell you, yeah, that's how you're supposed to feel. Oh. Okay, so what we're going to do to start off is I'm going to get my embroidery needle because I want to make the spokes that the ribbon is going to be woven through with the embroidery floss, hence embroidery floss. And you only need about 3 strands. And you can have 5 or 7 spokes, but you want to have an odd number. Hi, Ganache. Oh, I covered your stool, didn't I? Hang on, let me get this stuff off your stool. Yes, let me get this off your stool so you can sit down. Hi, sorry. Hey, go. Hey, go. There. Now you lay down, be a good girl. Don't be a silly girl, be a good girl, okay? So far, so good. Okay, so let's thread the needle. Put a knot at the end of the thread. Okay. And we're going to start by making the spokes of the rose. And then once we get that done, we'll start with the beads on the rose, just in the center. And a few of them may get covered up once we start weaving the rose, but that's okay. This is, hold on a second. Let me get my, I don't feel like I'm centered here. Hold on. I'm going to move my camera because I feel like I'm working too far away from myself. So I'm going to move my camera closer to me, and let's see. There, that's better. So I'm making the spokes of the rose, the spokes for the base of the rose, I should say. And we have 5. All right. Now I'm going to bring this to the back. Make a loop, pull the loop, make a knot. There we go. And that's all we need for the embroidery needle and the embroidery floss, which is cotton floss. When you're working with ribbon, I will tell you what I'm working with is not the greatest, okay? It is cotton, but it's a tightly woven cotton, and you want something looser. So you want to try to work with something that does not have such a tight weave to it. You need it to be a little bit looser weave. A gauze fabric, a muslin. I'm trying to think of that. That type of canvas, needlepoint canvas. You could work with that, but that's not the greatest either. So work with something that has a looser weave to it. So yes, just regular cotton. You can, however, when you're working with crazy quilt blocks, you have your squares, your crazy quilt squares. A lot of those back in the day were made with satin and silk, little satin and silk pieces that came out of cigar boxes. And the women would decorate the little squares of satin and silk that came out of cigar boxes with these ribbon flowers. So you can use silks and satins. However, they're very expensive. And yes, you can make these roses very big. Depending on how long you make your spokes, these roses can become very large. Yes, it is very hard to get the ribbon through the tight fabric. Okay, so now I'm resorting to my chenille needle. This is size number 24. And remember a couple of weeks ago, hi Sherry, how are you? Welcome, welcome. A couple of weeks ago, I said the bigger the needle, the bigger the number, the smaller the needle. So 22 is a bit bigger, 20 is a bit bigger, 18 is a bit bigger, 20, then you have your 24, which is in the middle. You have 26, 28. Would you only do the 2 stitches per spoke or more, depending on the size? I'm not sure what you mean by stitches. There are no stitches per se with this particular rows. It's just weaving over, under the spokes. I do more than 2 rows, if that's what you mean. I do a lot of rows. Is that what you're talking about? As to how wide it will eventually get, as to how many rows I put on there? Because this is the back stitch rows, and that takes a lot of stitches, and that takes definitely way more than just the woven rows. The woven rows is just over, under your spokes. Okay, so I have my needle. Oh, wait, I forgot. Most important thing. Go back to your embroidery needle. You need to make sure when putting your beads on that your needle will pass, this one doesn't, over your bead. So I'm going to resort to my beading needle just because I can. And as far as thread goes, to thread on your beads with, you only need 1. So go back to your your embroidery floss. You only need 1. With your embroidery floss, you have the needle in at the top and bottom of the spoke. Would you need to do that a couple times per spoke if it were bigger? No, actually, no, you don't. What you would do is, if you wanted a bigger rose and you wanted to make sure your spokes were sturdy, you would just use 4 or 5 threads or all 6 threads and make a sturdier, longer, sturdier spoke. Okay, let's see if I can thread this through my beading needle. If not, I'll have to get a smaller embroidery needle. But look at that, it went right through my beading needle. Ta-da! Okay. So, knot your thread. And come up from the back to the front. Put your bead over your needle and go down almost at the same place you came up at. Oops, let me get closer so you can see. See where I came up? I'm going to go down almost at the same place I came up at to tack that bead in place. And there's the center bead. And now I'm going to traverse around the side of this bead this way and make a circle of beads around that center bead. you know what, honey? I don't know what broadcloth is. So again, you come up from the back where you want your next bead to be. Come on. There we go. Where you want your next bead to be. Put your bead on your needle and go down almost where you came up. And that tacks your needle in I keep saying needle, but I mean to say bead. Tacks your bead in place. Come up from the back. Grab your needle. Grab your bead and bring your needle back down to the back. I'm bound and determined to call that thing a needle, and it's not. It's a bead. Come up from the back. Grab your bead. Go back down to the back. Tack your bead in place. Make sure you don't get hung up on another bead like I just did. Loosen that up. Come back down without getting hung up on another bead. There we go. Used for shirting. Well, thank you, Marty, for that information. Oops, I put that bead on first, and I need to come up from the back first. So I'm going to come up from the back. There's my needle right there, coming up from the back. And I think I will only need one more bead after this. So I'm going to come up from the back. Grab the bead, go back down. And there. That's how I tack on all those beads into the center. Go back to the back, go underneath a thread, create a loop, go through the loop, pull tight. There's your knot. Do it one more time. Go through a thread, create a loop, go through the loop, pull tight. There's your knot. Okay. For this part of the rose, we are done with the embroidery floss and we are done with the beading. So now we take the darker color of the yellow ribbon, because it's darker in the center and it gets lighter as it goes out. And I'll show you how to go through the eye of the needle, and then at about a centimeter down, poke the needle in the ribbon, bring it down, pull your tail. And that is how you thread ribbon onto a needle. You still want to make a knot at the end so it doesn't come through the back. Oh, Pam looked it up. I thought Marty looked it up. I'm sorry. Thanks, Pam. I need to give credit where credit is due. I apologize. Okay. Now, to finish off the rows, we need to make a weaving. So we're going to come up close to one of the spokes near the base where the beads are. So you can see my needle right there. Okay, close to the base. Come up from the back and pull through. Now what you want to do is for a couple of turns, Pam is just educating us. Polyester and wool, broadcloth is usually considered a medium weight fabric. Blends like silk, rayon, polyester, and wool. Broadcloth is usually considered a medium weight fabric. Okay, now what you want to do is do the over, under, over, under. So the first one, I want to go under. Second one, I'm going over. Third one, going under. And you just continue to do this. Under. Making sure that you don't pierce your previous ribbon or your fabric. Okay, you want to pull it relatively tight around the center. And there, you've made your first couple of rounds. Your beads are in the center. You've made your next row for the petals of the rose. And now what you want to do is bring your needle to the back and tie it off. Now, I don't know if this is the way the professionals do it, but this is the way I do it. I find that tail that I started with, and there's still a little piece of fabric there. I bring my needle through that little piece of the ribbon, the fabric, if you can do it without breaking it. Well, I can't do it because I did not leave myself a long enough piece of fabric, piece of ribbon. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see. Come on, I can do it. No, I can't. I didn't leave myself a long enough piece of ribbon. Well, actually, I went through a little bit of it. There. And when you want to take your ribbon off your needle, you just merely cut right close to the needle itself, and it comes right off. Now we switch from the darker yellow to the lighter yellow. I'll show you how to thread the needle again. You cut the ribbon at an angle and you put the point through the eye. Again, you find 1 centimeter down and go right through the center and then pull your tail. They were awesome until I tried to cut some really fine wire with them and it caused a glitch. So I cannot cut fabric, like a stroke of fabric anymore because there's one little ding right in the center of my blade. I'm so mad at myself. All it's going to take is a little bit of sharpening and they'll be fine again, but so now I'm going to make a knot at the other end again, only this time I'm going to leave the tail a little bit longer so that I can come through the fabric, come through the ribbon so that I can make my finish. All right. So now come up from the back, close to the band of woven ribbon that you already have, to the front. And again, you want to do just your simple over, under, over, under. Now the last one on here was an over, so we're going to do an under, over, under, over, where was it? There it is, under, come through, under, over, under, over, under, over, whoops, went through the fabric, we don't want to do that, under, over, under, and you keep doing that until your spokes are covered, till you're happy with your rows and your spokes are covered. And now, what I did this time is I just left the ribbon flat, and so the ribbon wrapped around kind of flatter than this one. What I like to do normally is twist my ribbon just a little bit like that, so that when I go over, under, I have some dimension without it just looking like a flat ribbon that went over, under. It kind of kinks and curls and creases itself. Like that. You just leave it just like that, over, under. That way it has a little bit more glamour to it, a little bit more spunk, a little bit more definition. There, and all of my, oh, except this one, hold on, that was an over, this is an under. And I'll go over that one and under the next one, and I will be done with my rows because all of my posts will be covered, all of my spokes. And there is my beautiful rose. Now I'm going to go down to the back. All right, now I'll show you again because I left a longer tail. Go into the center of the ribbon of the tail and pull your ribbon through, and it holds it in place just like that without tying another knot. and then you cut the lengths off. And from start to finish, that is how you make a beaded woven ribbon rose. No, not necessarily. You just need longer spokes. If you want a bigger rose, you need longer spokes. And you can use the same size ribbon. You don't really want to go with a wider ribbon because it will just end up looking like a bulky bunch of ribbon. What you want to do is just do wider spokes. Not wider spokes, but longer spokes. Make your spokes come out longer so that you go over, under for a longer period of time. This ribbon is 1/8, I believe. Yes, this is 1/8 ribbon. I couldn't find any 1/16 ribbon, so I'm using my 1/8 ribbon, and it's working beautifully. A 1/16 ribbon must be really fiddly to work with, I gotta tell you. I work with 1/16" paper to wrap, to wrap, doing quilling, doing paper quilling, and woo, that's fiddly to work with. Like 1/8 of an inch. Yes, it is 1/8 of an inch. So that's that rose. Now, to do a leaf, you're going to go back to your beading needle. This is a size 11, but you probably want to work with a size 10 because the eye is a little bit bigger. You want to work with, you want to try to work with 2 strands of floss for the bugle beads, because the bugle beads are glass and they cut if you work your thread back and forth too much. It's like it's like rubbing across a knife blade. Well, hello to you too. Hello. So, I do know this needle will not take 2 strands of thread. It will only take 1. So I'm going to use my beading thread because it's stronger. And I've got my green beading thread. Now I don't know why 1 strand of beading thread and 1 strand of cotton thread are the same size and one is so much stronger than the other. You don't know what they make beading thread with. That makes it so much stronger. I do know that they do have also beading thread that you can buy in the I buy some of my beading thread in the fishing department. The white and the black I buy right in the fishing department. I get white beading thread and black beading thread, and it works wonders. Okay, I'm going to make a knot in the back. All right, so the first thing you need to do is get out a couple of bugle beads. Oh, wait a minute. The first thing you need to do Just put the cover back on your beads so you don't spill them. Take out a couple of bugle beads. Come here. Yeah, I'll take out 3. Make 3 leaves. You want to come up where your leaf is. Oh, you can barely see it. Come up at the base of your leaf. String on a bugle bead. And go the length of the bugle bead. And at the end of your bugle bead is where you go down to the back. Like that. And you want to do that for as many leaves as you have. So let's pretend I have another leaf here. You string on the bugle bead, and as long as the bugle bead is, will be as long as your bead stitch. Like that. And we'll put another one over here. And like that. So that's the center of your leaves. Your bugle beads are going to be the center of your leaves. You go off and finish off your work on the back. With a knot, just like you would any other thread. All right, now we go back to the embroidery needle and we take floss instead of ribbon. And you want to use it full strength, 6. You want to use 6. You may have to go up to a larger needle if all 6 strands don't fit through the eye of your needle. No, I can only get 4 to go through. All right, let me get a larger needle. Actually, I'm going to use my chenille needle. All 6 fit through perfectly on that. And what you're going to do is a detached daisy chain stitch. So you come up at the base of your bugle bead. Whoops, I lied. I lied. You come up at the top of your leaf, where your leaf is. You make your loop from your daisy chain. Make your loop for your daisy chain. Go back down at the top of your leaf and come back to the base of your bugle bead. Do not pull it too tight. And there's your leaf. Now, to finish your leaf, you go down on the other side of your floss. See, right now you're on the inside of your floss and it's holding your daisy chain in place. You're on the inside of your floss. Now you want to come back down to the outside of your floss in the same place and go to the back. And there's your leaf. I'll do it again. You come up to the top of your leaf. Make your loop with your thumb for your daisy chain. Go back down at the top of the leaf, come back up at the base of the bugle bead. At the base of the bugle bead, pull taut but not tight, and then go back down to the back to finish your leaf. And there's your leaf. Your hands cry every time you try to sew. Oh no. And I'll show you one last time. You come up at the top of the leaf. Make your loop for your daisy chain. Go back down at the top of the leaf and come back at the base of the bugle bead. Pull taut but not tight. And go back underneath. And that, my lovelies, is how to incorporate some beads into your lovely woven ribbon rose and your ribbon rose leaves. And I didn't create a new image for this week's tutorial because all you have to do is take last week's image or the week before's image. It was supposed to be last week's image, but all you got to do is take the week before's image and incorporate where the roses are, incorporate beads into the center of the roses, and instead of doing the ribbon leaf stitch, do your beaded leaf stitch. I think the answer to that question is You know what? I honestly don't know the answer to that question. My guess is if I wanted bigger leaves, I would place 2 bugle beads and go around both bugle beads to make them a little bit, to make it a little bit wider. And then I would, you know what? I think I would. I think I would go around the leaf twice. If I wanted the bigger leaf, I would go around the leaf. I would make 2 chains. One small one around the bugle bead and then a little bit bigger one around what I just did. I think I would. I think I would. No, not to the end of it. Together side by side. So instead of just 1 bugle bead, there'd be 2 side by side, right next to each other. Not end to end like this, but side by side this way. So that will puff out the leaf more, and then if it will puff out a little bit more is to go around the leaf again. Right. So to answer your question, yes, keep going around. Now, if I just wanted 1 bugle bead in the center, but I still wanted the leaf to be bigger, I would just do what you said, is go around. Do what we agreed upon, is just go around it again with another chain stitch. And do it again a little bit bigger. What the heck is going on here? Why is that? Oh, I cut my thread. That's why. Silly girl. See what happens when you pull too tight? It becomes a little Christmas tree. If you want to make it longer, then by all means put 2 bugle beads together, or get yourself some longer bugle beads, because bugle beads come in different sizes. I just have the small sizes because I do everything small with all my embroidery work and whatnot. I do everything small. So I only have the smaller size, but these come in much larger sizes. These are number 2s. They also come in 4s and 6s. And 8s, I believe. As a matter of fact, oh, they're put away. I was going to say I could show you how big some of the bugle beads are. Some of the bugle beads are actually quite long, like the whole length of one section of my finger. Some are that long. $50 size. Oh, I wouldn't know how to make a beaded leaf that size. I would actually do a whole different style of leaf if I wanted to make it a $50 size. I would do all the veining of the leaf with the bugle beads, the smaller bugle beads. I would do all the veining of the leaf with the smaller bugle beads. And then I would do some type of satin stitch or buttonhole stitch around the bugle beads to fill in the leaf. Or you could go back to the leaf stitch and use a wider ribbon. Hello, wondrous natures. How are you? Glad you could join us. Welcome, welcome. So, are there any other questions? Yes. Okay, Teresa. Hi, welcome, by the way. You little balcony watcher, you. When am I doing the shoe? When am I going to paper quill the shoe? Because that's what I was going to do with the shoe, is do some paper quilling. I might embroider some of the outline of the shoe at some point on fabric. Quilling the shoe, that won't be till later, like in August or September, when I pull out all my paper quilling. I have different seasons for different for different items. Yeah. Mid-August, beginning of September, I pull out my paper quilling and my Christmas ornaments. This year's Christmas ornaments are going to be spoons covered with glass glitter and charms, and they're going to be all Christmassy. Oh, you did? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy. You're quilling a girl right now? Ooh, does she have a nice long flowing dress that you can put lots of flowers and dewdots and doo-wah-ditties inside of her dress? Oh, thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. I'd love to see a picture of that, Teresa. If you would like to, you could share it in my Facebook group. Oh, I love those. I've yet to figure out how to do them. I will eventually do them. My mind gets a little overwhelmed when I see it. Yay, Marty! Woohoo! Give it time to do its work. That was just one pill, one night. I'm so happy, Marty. But I still want you to call your doctor and tell them you felt strange, because they may have some I was just going to say Kellarunio because I saw the word there. You're welcome, Marty. They may still have some questions for you that I'm not thinking of. So, because I'm not a doctor. I just know from experience of a couple of people that I know that have been on blood pressure medication that they do feel strange because it's kicking in. Your body is switching gears and the pill is working. I would say so long as you don't have like a really bad headache, nausea, or a high fever, um, that you would be okay. Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right. You just feel a little strange, a little dizzy. But just for your peace of mind, you know, call the doctor and say, I know you said I'd feel a little dizzy, but Ditsy, what? No. I'm so dizzy, my head is spinning like a whirlpool, it never ends. And it's you, girl, making it spin, yeah. You're making me dizzy. She's posted, but not nowhere finished. Oh, that's okay. I want to see the finished one too when you're done, but I love to see works in progress. You have no delusions? Well, I'm a tad ditzy and I have lots of delusions. That'll be great. Okay, well, that ends tonight's tutorial. I'm so glad all of you came out and you all asked questions. And Marty, I'm glad that things are looking up. I'm going to continue to pray for your blood pressure. And I hope that things normalize for you. Oh, that's not a delusion, Teresa. That's the fact. Meow, Stacy. Thanks everybody for coming in. I hope to see you all next week. I hope to see you all tomorrow in chat. Thank you everyone for coming. I really enjoyed this tutorial. Okay. Bye for now, meow. Good night.